Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. Were you denied in the past for a claim because your evidence wasn't quite where it needed to be? And like most of us, you just kind of throw your hands in the air and go, you know what, screw the VA. They're just going to keep denying me and walk away. Well, here is your lucky day, potentially, right? Two things. One, the Supreme Court is really hammering down on the idea of the benefit of the doubt rule. This means that if evidence is close to equal on both sides, the VA is supposed to rule in your favor. And there's been a couple cases that got pushed to the Supreme Court that say, hey, look, we don't think that you've been applying the benefit of the doubt rule appropriately. So now we're there. The second piece to this is, what is the biggest piece that we always miss as veterans, right? It's the nexus, the link between your time in service and your condition. I partnered up with a med team that can help with that, with both getting you service connected and getting you the appropriate rating. You can get a free consultation. Information is free. Don't walk away from that. Take advantage of free consultations on this stuff because they are absolute experts in Nexus and DBQ. Here's the thing. This is what they do so they understand what the VA's looking for. This is the subject matter expert in this realm. Your personal doctor may be great. I get it. But there's a learning curve. Your personal doctor doesn't understand the nuance of the VA, which is fine. You can teach your doctor and bring them all the information that they need and hope that they put together the nexus in the best way possible and they do a DBQ in a way in which will set you up for that appropriate rating. You can. And do that. That would probably be free or whatever your copay is or whatever for your doctor. Do that if you can. If you can't or you don't feel like your doctor's quite putting it together the way that you need it to be to reach that level of approvability, we'll call it, then reach out to my friends at American Medical Experts. So this is the group that will make it happen. Take advantage of the free consultation. Very important. So let's talk about this for a minute, because when you think about your claim and filing for a condition that maybe you were denied in the past for, you need to make sure that you are supplying good evidence. Now, it doesn't matter how long ago it was denied. First of all, if it was denied a long time ago, that's fine. File for it again. If it was denied within 1 year, you need to file as soon as possible your essentially rebuttal. Okay? You have a couple decisions here. One is you could file a higher level review, which is okay, but you're not supplying additional evidence. Usually not recommended, okay? Usually. What you should think about is a supplemental claim. That supplemental claim will allow you to provide additional evidence. That additional evidence will be used to help now decide the fate of your claim. Now, when you think about the Supreme Court, right, looking at the benefit of the doubt rule, there's a huge spotlight. You need to take advantage of this time while it's fresh in everyone's minds that, oh, the Supreme Court is looking at how we just kind of forgot about the benefit of the doubt rule. Probably don't want to continue to do that. So let's make sure that we actually do pay a little bit of attention here. And this goes all the way through all of the appeal process, right? So the way that the appeal process works, essentially, if you were to hit every stage, you have your claim you file, comes back with a negative decision, then bam, you can file your higher level review, you can file a supplemental, you can push it to the Board of Veterans Appeals. The Board of Veterans Appeals comes back unsatisfactory, if you will. You can then push it to the U.S. Court of Veterans Appeals, and that is really where the focus of the Supreme Court is on their review of the claim. So with regard to the benefit of the doubt rule, which then rolls all the way back, right? So if they should be looking at these things and going, wow, that's the the evidence is pretty equal. We should be ruling in the veteran's favor. Well, then that means the Board of Veterans Appeals should have done that. And if they did that, then that means that the VA should have done that, provided that the VA had all the same information. So all that to say is take advantage of anything that you could get for free from experts regarding Nexus and DBQs and all of that stuff. Take the time to have a conversation, because this is $1 million deal. If you think about it, if your claims take you to 100%, let's say you're at 30 or 40 or 50% now, and you've figured out some other things that you could potentially file for, and that could potentially push you to 100%, well, now all of a sudden you're looking at over $4,000 per month. That $4,000 per month is tax-free, so if you were to gross it up and pretend it was a taxable amount, it's like making $5,000 a month, which is like making $60,000 a year, which over 10 years is $600,000, which over 20 years is $1.2 million. $1.2 million. Take into consideration the free health care and all the bells and whistles that come with that. Take into consideration the idea of utilizing Chapter 35, educational benefit for your spouse and your dependents, that pays out over $1,500 per month while they're going to school full time. Add in there the fact that you can throw in Champ VA for your spouse and dependents. The add-ons are ridiculous. Look at the state level. Now all of a sudden you get your real estate taxes waived. You have your automobile registration is waived. All of this stuff adds up. So take advantage of the situation with regard to making sure that maybe getting a little more evidence will take you to that evidence is an equipoise and be able to file a claim. Again, if you were denied in the past, take advantage now, because it might be the time. If you were denied less than 1 year, where are we at? You have 1 year to file that appeal, preserving your effective date. Important. Very important to preserve that effective date. If you missed out on that window of opportunity, right, then go back and file your intent to file now. Get that in and start working on developing your claim for this condition that you were denied in the past for. One of the last kind of final thoughts is just remember what you're trying to do. The two goals, right, of any claim, your end goal, right? There's two goals. One, get service connected. What does that look like? Got to prove your time in service, easy DD 214, time in service. 2, you have to have a diagnosed condition that's chronic in nature or has some sort of residual effects. 3, you need to have a nexus, the link between the condition and your time in service. Now, if you got diagnosed for whatever, sleep apnea while you were in service, that's the nexus. The date of your diagnosis puts you in the middle of your service. You're good to go. If you got diagnosed for migraines while you were in service, that is your nexus. The date of that diagnosis proves that you had it during your time in service. When you get a diagnosis that's outside of your time in service, you need to build a bridge back. And a Nexus letter, along with supporting statements and documents, help you to do that. Okay, it's all evidence. It's either medical evidence, lay evidence, and so forth. So you can connect that all together. The second goal is getting correctly rated. Great, you got rated, but you got a 0% and you should have been a 50, for example, right? You need to make sure that whoever you're working with that's completing your DBQ, if it's not a professional in VA claims, then you need to make sure that they understand the schedule of ratings and how it will impact what you're trying to do. You need to clearly state where you fall on that rating schedule and have that information embedded appropriately for the appropriate diagnostic codes and so forth through the DBQ. It's instrumental in getting you the appropriate rating. Lastly, you need to remember that for when you go to your CMP exam, if required, you'll go to the CMP exam and you will be able to have that same conversation, take notes with you if you need to. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.